You ain't following Dabstars, man. Hey, social media, you better hurry up and shit like that, because, hey, he got bombed. On mama, he got bombed and shit,
We turned
man.
10 in March. I feel like my company's getting old. It's going to be able to go to the bar soon, you know?
Yeah.
On the spot, at the spot.
The spot, SoDo.
With the big homie Nick.
We at the spot,
SoDo. We at the spot, SoDo.
Spot SoDo.
on the spot, at the spot, SoDo, Seattle.
Man, pull out your blunt, grab your drink, get your notepad, because it's a lot of game. Hey, man, we over here on the spot at the spot, man. You know what I'm saying, man? Talking about 79 Cadillacs and you feel me? You know I'm already halfway there and shit like that. I can't even get it out, man. DeVille and shit like that, man.
Bill.
Hey, you know, man,
Best
we got
board
somebody,
story I got
man.
is Devin the Dude.
Devin the Dude. Oh, you know, we waiting on that one and shit like that, man. Hey, you know who we got here with us, man? We got the real motherfucking Dabstars, man.
Real Dabstar.
Pleasure to be
real.
here, brother. I appreciate it.
You know
Real
what I'm saying?
Dabstar
The
2.0.
real. You
We got
feel me?
Jessica on the spot here, too. She had to be on
Yeah,
the show.
yeah. We got Jessica. Jessica always been that smile. Ever since I met Jessica, Champs.
Champs, boy, man. You just took me back with that one and shit.
Champs Trade Show.
Jay, man,
Las
Big
Vegas.
Jay, man. What's up, man? Where you from, boss?
Originally, Colorado. I came here by way of Chicago in
What part of
99.
Part of Colorado.
Oh, a little town called Uray, Colorado. Up in
Uray?
the mountains. Yeah, it was.
I know it's that. I
You
live in
really?
Pueblo.
No shit.
Man,
okay.
I used to play in the Bell game.
All right, that's hilarious.
On the real, man.
All
I went to Pueblo Centennial.
So my mom died in a gun accident when I was 4. My dad remarried and we moved to Delta, which is like I went from mountain paradise to the desert.
Yeah.
And kids wanting to beat me up and shit. That's how I learned Spanish, all that.
Man, on the real, man. So you did majority of your years, high school, everything out there?
I ran away at 15 on me. That was the move for me. I was suffocating in their environment. That was not gonna be for me. And I got on a Greyhound bus. I sold the computer out of my bedroom, bought a Greyhound bus ticket with a buddy of mine who told me NorCal was full of weed and women and all this amazing stuff. And we took a bus from Colorado to Northern California.
That's fucking crazy.
It was the right move, even though my home was fine. I didn't run away from like a bad home. I wasn't beaten, nothing like that. I was just adventurous.
Yeah.
I don't put that on my parents. I just want to make that clear.
Nah. So you left. So, man, okay, man, 15 years old, man, what you thinking? Tell me to the 15-year-old, Jay, man.
A 15-year-old thinks they're a man. When you're 15, you're grown in your mind. You're like, I know everything there is. Nobody could teach me shit. And then you spend the next 20 years finding out that you're just a little kid. Yeah. Now I'm 43. Like, oof, it went fast.
Man, who you fucking telling, man? So you get to Northern Cal, man. What you seeing? What you going through? What you thinking?
Exactly what was promised. Weed and women and beautiful weather, everything that they don't have in Delta, Colorado. But right, that's why I didn't come back. But mixed in was a lot of meth and other shit that I saw. And for me, being born poor and white, there's not a lot of mobility either. You know what I mean?
Yeah, real tough.
It's a similar situation. You're in a situation. I equate it to a game of Monopoly that's already been played. I tell you, we're gonna have a Monopoly game at 5 o'clock. Yeah, but I invite everybody else over at noon, and we start playing this game. And by the time you show up at 5 o'clock, there's a hotel on everywhere. We're like, we're all equal now. Let's sit down at the table, and then I complain about anything that arises from that, right? And for me, I'm in the same situation. I wasn't born into property. I bought my own first car. I had zero potential at mobilizing myself economically until cannabis. And it was doing it on a small scale, just growing in my basement and hustling sacks out of Tacoma. But when I entered into the legal cannabis market and became a business owner, I own a corporation now, a limited liability corporation based out of Nevada.
Okay.
They have very lovely laws in Nevada.
Okay. So, hey, right there, game number one.
Game number one.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
All
right.
you growers and shit like that, man, don't bring your asses out here to Washington. You gonna find out, man. The fucking taxes. How do they figure this shit out? Well, first off, go like, comment, and subscribe, man. And if you ain't following
You're on the
Dabstars,
spot.
man, hey, social media, you better hurry up and shit like that, because, hey, he got bombed. On mama, he got bombed and
We
shit,
turned
man.
10 in March. I feel like my company's getting old. It's going to be able to go to the bar soon, you know?
Yeah.
So, man, okay, so you in Tacoma, you wiggling. And for these people who don't understand, you know, I'm from L.A., right? First place I ever come to is Tacoma. When I come out here, I end up at Brown's
Okay.
in the hilltop.
So that's why I hear a little respect when you say it.
So,
Some people know Tacoma. Some people are like, it's a smell or something.
oh yeah, the Tacoma aroma.
Yeah.
I get to Browns. I say, fam, where the fuck is we at? He like, we in Tacoma. I say, bro, this LA, bro. Right at the time, what I'm seeing, I ain't gonna speak what I seen, but what I seen, I'm like, oh, get me the fuck up out of here, bro. What the fuck is it? Because Tacoma was LA. I'm just being real with you.
And, the only thing that really changed that was technology. When not only people having cell phones, but they put in an initiative that put street cameras on the hilltop. And when they put cameras on the hilltop and people watching them 24 hours a day, they just started putting people in jail. And some of those people are just now starting to get out. And so they dismantled an entire generation and displaced them. And those, I live in a house that once sold for $12,000 right on the H in Hilltop. It's now $240,000.
Ain't that shit crazy?
Or was the last sale? Now it's $348. Yeah.
And it's gonna keep going up with fucking Amazon going to Lakewood.
And all my old neighbors can't afford their new property tax because they bought that house for $25,000 or they inherited that house, and now the assessor's telling them you got to pay tax on $250,000. They're on a fixed income. I mean,
Wow, right.
And so that's the new gentrification line. Is it just pushes out whole neighborhoods and they're displaced into different areas, different economies. That's what Lakewood was for a long time. Was displaced Tacomians that couldn't afford it.
Real talk. And now Amazon's going there and they're fucking skyrocketing again.
Yeah, until it's all robots. They have no interest in people, just like Uber. And I mean, we're a means to an end until they can replace us with the robot.
Real talk.
They got
Real
the drones rolling out here in the next couple months.
The
delivery drones?
Oh, you see them in LA all the time.
Yeah, they're like
delivery drones.
Yeah.
Well, I see the car that's the car that's driving cars in Frisco.
We got served by a robot waiter in Spain.
Yeah.
Damn.
Now they
robot waiter.
They when you in La Cienega or Westwood or whatever, you just look over and you'll see like a little machine, like a little about this big, rolling down the street delivering food. And it's just rolling. It's just walking down the sidewalk. And
the Sheraton that did that. The Sheraton Hotel by the airport.
That's not going to work no more.
The Sheraton, the gateway, the hotel by the LAX. They had a little robot that come deliver mail to your room.
It ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, a little while. He go on the elevator with you and everything.
Sure, it's not going to be on time.
So because you made a great point. You made actually a couple of great metaphors. Because when you see gentrification, they only show the minority side. But
it's economic disparity. If you it's malicious to the point that if you go to get a new home now, and even on the rental side, we're talking rentals, they base that on your credit score.
That shit crazy.
So you could have all the money in the world, and they're saying your credit score means you have to live at this level, and that you can't even live amongst these people, even if you can afford to, until your credit score says that you can. Unless you find a way to subvert the system, and that's what cannabis really is. That's why all of us look for a way to subsidize our income, because the system doesn't provide.
So I got another question. Why haven't a lot of cannabis growers started their own bank?
It's been tried. I mean, even Charles Barkley got behind Potcoin, which was essentially an attempt at a cannabis bank. We put our money in one centralized system, and we use the currency of that system as a way to exchange amongst ourselves. But it takes a lot of trust, and right now we're all fractured in this community, and we came from the black market, so nobody has trust. You trust your circle.
So you've been, say, 15, so you've been doing it down there almost 30 years, huh?
Well, Dabstars has been legitimate for 10 years. I've had a business license for my cannabis company for 10 years.
So how does it feel? Because I can tell you're a connoisseur. It's not necessarily just money. You're really a connoisseur.
Oh, yeah. No, I smoke the weed. I love the weed. That's why I was like, here's a job I could be passionate about.
How does it feel that you see some asshole from MIT show up and tell you, oh, yeah, well, I'm getting in the weed business, and you looking at this motherfucker, you know he ain't never even fucking accidentally bumped into a joint?
Hey, you know what? I'm headed to MJ BizCon in Las Vegas. Q-Bone's going to come with me, and that's exactly what that is. That's think of High Times and the big parties that we have with that as a consumer event. Business to business is 100% how can we make money off of cannabis. And it's people with man buns and fucking suits over their T-shirts trying to figure out how they can prey on an industry that we created.
Real
that
talk.
you created.
Real talk. Oh yeah,
Just
shit.
by
I'm kinda,
smoking weed and being
I'm a
willing to
consumer.
toe the line. Yeah.
Fucking consumer. I look for the best. Whoever got the best weed is like, I don't give a fuck. Who got the best? Is it the best? Give
Right,
it in.
and you can tell by your nose. Yeah, you don't even really need to see it.
Man.
I know what it tastes like in a blunt when I smell it. Yeah. and our generation preserved those genetics because it was all done illegally until it wasn't. So all those great things that we're smoking and enjoying now were preserved by black market growers all over the world.
So name the strand, man, that you would say that Dabstars is famous for.
We do a lot of the birthday cake, but honestly, my favorite is a Tangy cut. If I find a great Tangy cut, I'm gonna bring it in for sure.
Tangy?
Yeah.
Let me get this, man. You know what I'm saying? Because Brother had told me, man, you know about Alaskan Thunderfuck.
Oh yeah.
Now the Alaskan Thunderfuck.
We'd have to have a whole episode if you mention that around Ron. There's a little Tangy in there. Let's smell that.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
That's a cut cultivated by OG Steve Borland, and
Hell yeah.
you can smell that in anything that's been crossed into. You know what I mean? That's
Strong, pungent, nice little.
Yeah, you call that whatever you want. I smell it. I know what's in there. But yeah, the Matanuska Thunderfuck is a good example of just they were isolated over there. Cannabis went legal in Alaska in 1979, brother.
See, but the Alaskan Thunderfuck, I remember, because the first time I ever seen it was in the 90s in Oakland.
Yeah.
And dude was like, man, he had dime sacks, 0.5. You know, man, he like, man,
In
I
a
got
little crack bag, right?
Man, come on, man. 2 for 15. You know, hey, man, give me 2
Some
for 15.
logos on it.
Let me get 2 for 15.
215.
Right?
So I can make some money off
And
it.
it was like white. I had never seen those. I was like, man, what the fuck is this? He was like, oh, man, it's from Alaska. That's all he said. It's from Alaska. Because, street dudes at the time, whoever had it, smoked it, probably the best we'd ever had. Never seen it again. Never seen it again.
White.
White.
There's two possibilities. The most probable one is the lights were too close and it bleached the tops. And all the chlorophyll's gone and you get white buds at the tips of that. The other is, and just recently, people have proved that there are variants of cannabis that can evolve to be white without any chlorophyll at all. So there are truly white strains, but it's hella rare. So if you had it and it didn't taste like bunk, then it might have been that.
It was, look, man, when I say this was the best weed, this is 1999, and I'm still talking about it. I can tell you.
Yeah, so I'm thinking the latter.
That's
might
like
be
White
true on
Widow
that.
or something.
I had never seen nothing like it. Because, it was
Yeah, it was like frost,
they
all
moving fast,
frost, all
hey.
that flake, all that frost on, like that salt on it.
Oh, my God. I was like,
like it
what
was
the fuck
snow
is
on
that?
there or something.
Amen. And that passion is why we have so many different flavors today, because everybody's hunting to find that one. And they're crossing to see what they get. And the game has been fun. One of the best breeders in the entire world is right out of Tacoma. Fuck. We're not live, so I'll figure it out soon. But
Nah, don't trip, man. You know what I'm saying? Shit, man. Hey, at the end of it all, man, you just said it, because I'm a kind of weed connoisseur, right? When I
Exotic
first got here,
Exotic genetics.
I got here, it's on my mama. Washington had bomb.
they did. Yeah.
I used to call my partner to LA, like, hey, y'all keep fucking with the nickel
Expensive
bag.
too, right? $300 an
It was
ounce.
still, but it was worth it.
In the
Yeah, it
wintertime,
was
in the
exotic.
winter,
I came from a brickweed area. So,
in the wintertime,
yeah.
we would get LA would get the Seattle weed in the wintertime. In the summertime, we would get that orange hair. It was, if somebody had it in Compton, it was orange hairs that come in the summertime. But that wintertime come, boy, them purple hair, the frosty white on that free coming from green, coming from
man.
Seattle, boy, it was like,
And they used to bring big bundles.
yeah, it's like
They
you went on
used
the
to- they used to
highway
pack
waiting for that
it
to come from
huge.
Seattle.
And we
Yeah.
used to
You
be
get
like, man.
that AAA and the AAA BC coming over here back then. If you got the
BC?
AAA packs,
BC too. I
those
forgot
were-
about that.
That was good weed.
It was. You know what? I forgot about
So
that.
they say AAA
Oh, the
now
Asians
is under the
owned the
light
game
depth
back in
era,
the day.
huh? So when they say AAA light depths now, is that
So AAA light depth means that it was outdoor, but someone either with the machine or very diligently went out there every 12 hours and blocked 100% of the light out. And that started the flowering process. That if you grow outside and you just put a seed out in your backyard, you'll get one crop out of that per year. But if you go out there and artificially blacken the light, you can get 2 crops out of that, 3 crops out of that, depending on what you're growing.
I could never. You know what? I could never get into it. I always like the part where, man, you know what I'm saying, when it was hanging dry, man, and you was going to try to run and throw it in the microwave real fast.
Oh wow! I didn't swore I invented that. Yeah, man. You know what? When you look at if you look it up, a microwave only gets shit to 180 degrees. It vibrates water molecules only, and they go to 180. That's below the boiling point for THC. So if you're microwave dry and shit, you were like years ahead of your time.
Man, hey, the cold part is, I didn't know that shit. So I just learned something right now. The shit you learn, man, when you're fucking with weed smokers and shit.
82, I smoked the
But
weed.
you would have known if you did that a couple times and you didn't get high, you would have stopped doing that. But if you're still getting stoned, then you're going to keep doing it that way.
Well, we just garbage weed. You know, we used to take the seed. You know, you get the little $5 nickel, and then you got the seed. You go plant it, and then it's on. I'm about to get rich. You get about that tall, then you give up.
Yeah. And sometimes it even looks like you got a good amount, and then it starts drying.
Where did skunk weed come from back in the day?
You're telling your friends how much weed you got, and that number's going down.
Where did skunk weed come from? Because back in the days, in '82, I bought a bag of weed, and it was the strongest weed I ever bought then. It was the stickiest weed I ever bought, and I didn't like when I bought it, I wanted to give it back to the dude because I couldn't roll no joints and light it because it was so fucking sticky, and it was skunk weed. And it was '82.
That's funny, right? You got too much THC, you can't roll it up no more.
82, big old skunk weed was so sticky you couldn't roll, and there wasn't no blunts then, so we rolled in joints. And you could light it, it wouldn't stay lit because it was so sticky.
Yeah.
And that triangle is big. It's a lot bigger than people think. It goes all the way up to Eureka, past Stockton.
Oh yeah, the triangle.
Yeah, I mean Stockton was an outlet. A lot of that weed goes down there to go further than that. And nowadays, the government set up a system that you can't make a good living in cannabis unless you have ancillary ways of making your money. And I'm not saying that I participate openly in the black market, but I'm saying there's plenty of guys that have to.
Yeah. You have to, though, because it doesn't make sense. It's like, in reality, in my opinion, I think the weed growers need to sue the United States government, man, for monopoly. Because they took an industry that in reality, you know what I'm saying, is no different than just growing corn.
Oh, 100%. But look what they do. That if you take that corn and you turn it into liquor, you have a whole mess of problems. You have to sell it to the state and buy it back from them with a tax stamp on it. And that's ultimately what they want for cannabis. Right now, cannabis is something that you could participate in. You can go out and create a company and be a part of this movement. Yeah. But when it's completely federally legal, like everybody thinks we're gunning for, it's big pharma. It's companies like Philip Morris and Coca-Cola that come in and take that money. It's not us. We get regulated out of the business completely.
How do we fight that?
Well, we fight that by joining together on podcasts like this and talking about it, honestly.
Real talk.
That's right. Yeah, it's
is
a slippery slope.
Is that why you would say, is that why, and you know, just my opinion, is that a reason why a lot of banks won't take money from weed businesses? Because at the end of it all, if they did, you guys would be some cold lobbyists. You probably will be one of the biggest lobbyists in the United States. You
nailed the heart of the problem, though, is that everybody has a lobbyist but us. We don't have cannabis lobbyists. We don't have enough extra money in cannabis. And there was a time when we did. In medical times, everybody flourished. You could grow weed in your basement, take it to any shop in Seattle, and if they didn't like it, fuck them, you go to the next shop. If they didn't like it, you could tell them to fuck off too, because you had 200 shops in your day, and you're only growing, 5-6 pounds out of a basement or something like that. You could sell your weed guaranteed at the price that you wanted it. And back then we were getting, $2,000-3,000 a pound. Now we're looking at $600 a pound. If I sell a joint for $5 to the head shop out here, or the retail shop, they put a 3 times markup on. That's a $15 joint for you now. But I only made $5. My packaging cost is $1. The actual weed, the employees that put it inside,
transportation, everything.
There's nothing left on there. We're able to survive in hopes that the future is a better climate, when in reality, the future is bleak. It's big companies, it's big pharma coming in and trying to take what we've been working really hard at.
So how do y'all combat? Because it's bad on the East Coast when they hitting it with the fentanyl.
Fentanyl is bad for everything. It's bad all over. But that's a south of the border thing, and it's people trying to synthesize heroin. I mean, if you can nail it just right and your customer doesn't know, then boom, you got really cheap heroin. But you fuck it up, you got really dead customers. Right?
Real talk. Oh man, powder every.
But our area is bad for that, and it was really when OxyContin went tamper-proof. when you couldn't take those Oxy 30s and 60s and do anything with them anymore, they're like turning to rubber pellets or plastic pellets.
I know what the fuck you're talking
Yeah,
about.
I know. I'm looking at your face to see if any of this is good.
I hate, allegedly, man.
I lost a lot of good people to that.
Come on.
Because they were smoking them, which was terrible, but when they made them tamper-proof and you couldn't do anything with them, they all went to heroin, bro.
Real talk.
Yeah, and then heroin became a real thing.
That was the fucked up part is you see epidemics and it's changing. Like I'm not from here. So I was a transplant. So me being a transplant coming here and seeing Washington 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I'm thinking, this is a beautiful fucking city. Some crazy motherfuckers.
Yeah, you come out here like mountains and fish.
Why
does everyone have a gun? This is beautiful.
That's what fucked my head up. Is we got stopped by the police and we on foot. And this asshole got a gun. I'm lightweight going off on him. He like, yeah, I got my gun on me. I'm like, man, you bitch ass motherfucker, you jumped in my motherfucking car. You ain't told me you had a gun on me. Hey, homie, where I come from, bro? That's the first thing you say when you hop in. Man, we got stopped by the police. They let that motherfucker go before us. I swear to God.
With his gun on him or under your seat?
He had it. No, he had it on him. He had it on him and everything. But we got California IDs. He got a Washington ID. We not knowing about the conceal. We don't know nothing about this. Me and my best friend. We sitting there. I'm giving him the LA spew.
Oh yeah, because California's got crazy gun laws.
Yeah. Ain't no motherfucker. You miss shit. They just now
10
started
round
giving
magazines, all that.
Oh man, 10 shit, like more like 7.
Really?
Yes, 7 rounds. Can't have, man. You can't. Certain counties give, like LA County is just now giving concealed weapon permits. Probably the first time in.
But who are they giving them
years.
to? They're not giving them to you and me. And they don't have to explain why they denied that. Technically, I have my gun rights. I've done nothing to lose my gun rights. But every single time I apply for a gun, and not like a long gun, anything, I get denied.
Swear.
No reason why, no explanation, but just they're allowed to just say no. And for whatever reason, if you're on their radar, they just say no.
And it's I would look into that because in a sense you're a businessman. So don't knock me for what my business is. Let me protect my family and my life.
I think they're knocking me for my childhood, brother. You can't technically be convicted of a felony as a minor in Colorado, but you can be adjudicated. So they can't technically hold that against me, but they look at my past and are like, son. But fortunately, you remember the Puyallup Gun Show? How long you been out here?
Yeah. I remember when they was having this shit?
Disneyland for guns, like right over here. Yeah.
Well, it's like no different than the switches.
Well, now they made a law where I can't even let you hold my gun at the gun range and shoot it, technically. You could be arrested for a felony just because I let you use my weapon. Whereas before that, anybody could transfer a weapon without even showing ID.
Come on, man. You know how many of my homies got drunk, left their fucking gun?
Yeah, so if you plucked your gun off in the last 10 years,
left the gun,
get another one. I did not do that.
hey, we're going to take this for safekeeping. You tell your buddy to come get the gun.
Yep.
I promise. Now, yeah, man, it's crazy, man, because the epidemic of the whole fucking heroin thing. See, you seen it.
Oh yeah.
I see it, man. I see it when I go outside. I'm in the SoDo, so as soon as I walk out, I showed up one day. We get ready to film. I look.
Yeah, we could probably go see it right now if you guys want to check it out. We gonna check out my car.
It's a dude in the motherfucking bushes. I'm like, damn, is he dead?
You know what really fucked people up, especially in our area, is when they came in and said, we're going to help all you guys out and we're going to create a rent moratorium. And people that didn't understand that, it's free rent, right? But you rack up a freaking $5,000-$10,000 deficit when you already couldn't pay your rent. The second that finally expired or they found a workaround, which was, I'm going to reoccupy the structure or it's up for sale now, which is anyone could say that without actually executing that, then all these people were homeless. And in Tacoma in particular, we saw a homelessness explosion. And the cops tolerated it because what else are you going to do? There's no room in the jail. And just little tent rows all the way up and down the streets.
Basically, man, in layman terms, just in case for some of our viewers who can't understand, he's basically explaining to you when the motherfuckers told you don't pay your rent and you didn't pay your rent and it was time to pay your rent and now you got to get your ass out, that's why.
Amen. Now good people that you wouldn't normally think of as homeless are living in campers and tents and...
Like my cousin said, remember my cousin said that about the kids are going to school and they sleep in the car with their mama. They're going to school every day, but they're not going home. They're coming home to a car. Maybe saying that little kids are going to school and they coming home to sleep in the car. Their home is in a car. They sleep in the car with their mother.
You know the crazy part about that? Hey, how many houses
you ever see?
how many houses does fucking Bill Gates have around here?
Oh, amen to that. That's what Jesse always says. We have all these empty hotels, vacancies everywhere. How many vacant commercial properties are there? Because they're placeholders for cash to rich people.
I couldn't be homeless here. It's too goddamn cold.
Yeah,
Fuck
exactly.
that.
Yeah, we'd be in Arizona or somewhere. It's not. Jamaica would be a nice place to be homeless.
Hawaii.
There's breadfruit everywhere.
Hawaii, they fuck around buy you a ticket.
Hawaii,
back.
they'll beat you up in your sleep and shit.
Yeah, they don't bullshit.
No, we do a show in Hawaii once a year, and if you're in the cannabis community and you come over there as part of cannabis, you might as well be Hawaiian. It was free dope. So we've been doing that for like 6 years now.
What part of man? Y'all be going to Oahu? Shit, Maui?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oahu. The Hawaiian Cannabis Expo. Check them out.
Off top, man. So when did it come to your mind that, you know what, I'm going corporate?
Ooh, the process kind of happened in a funny way because at the time I was growing weed and I was growing one flavor of weed. And I mean, if you were a grower, you had one strain and you grew that strain and you tried to do it really well and you tried really hard not to get powdery mildew. And so I had a small amount of weed and a small amount of customers. The day that shops opened up and they went legal in Washington, it was like my phone stopped ringing. Just completely crickets. You could go get 30 flavors of weed. You could buy weed you could eat. You could rub it on your face. You could do all this stuff. And my small operation that supported a small family was no longer viable.
Yeah.
And at the same time, the world famous cannabis farmers market was popping off in Tacoma.
Okay.
And it was literally every other Sunday, they would sell $800 tables to like 16 closeted weed farmers who would show up with like 8 to 10 pounds of weed apiece, put them on a table, and we would have a line over a block long for people to come buy weed at a price that you would never believe, $100 ounces everywhere. And I walked in and said, I volunteer. And they're like, what do you mean? I said, I've done all these things. I went to college for computer science. I did all this stuff. Like, I'll work for free. Just I want to be a part of this new cannabis industry.
Yeah.
And they put me into their social media, and I'm sitting with all this weed, and I just started doing weed social media. And when I had traction, I started putting my name at the bottom so they know who it was. And
Branding your own self.
yeah, when I finally launched my brand, they were not happy about it at all. But it was the launch of Dabstars. And in the beginning, it was recognizing people that had become rock stars in cannabis. It was your grower, it was your activist, it was your extractor. It was anybody that we looked up to in the cannabis world. You couldn't buy that sticker for $1,000. I had to hand it to you, be like, you're a Dabstar. We take a picture, and I'd write that up. And we ended up with 2 million followers on Facebook over that. We've been deleted on Instagram already, and we're back at 250,000 on Instagram.
75,000 followers right on Instagram.
Yeah, but we were completely deleted, gone, and they followed our hashtag back, right? The Dabstar hashtag. And we came back over 250,000. I'm like, we back and beat them. They banned our hashtag. So now if you even put hashtag Dabstars on a photograph, it goes into the little band world or whatever. Why? You ever tried to get somebody's account? You got to type the whole name all the way out.
Yeah, I did. I remember the time I tried to get in your account. I had to go trying to get it. Yeah,
shadow
something.
Instead of deleting you, they're just like, I'm going to make you so small that only your friends can see. You got to beg for someone to come see your page.
Because I noticed some of my posts don't get as many posts at certain times. Sometimes I put certain posts up. Yeah. Then I put another post up like 5 minutes later. And that post would get like 300 followers, views. But the one I put up right before that, and it's very different than the one I got 400 views. We only get like 20 and 30 views.
Because the algorithm's teasing you into, hey, this is the potential, and then they want to sell you those views. And so that's really when things got rough for us as Dabstars, because at the time I could literally say, hey, this is how many views I'm getting on a post. I put it into the little buyer on Facebook and be like, look, this is what Facebook would charge you to get that many views. I'm going to charge you 10% of that and deliver. And Facebook saw that as a business method, not just from us, but from everybody that tapped into that, and slowly tried to find ways where they could restrict your ability to monetize their platform and they could monetize it. So if I just tag your page, and like I used to build pages up to 50, 60 grand with a couple posts. That's how I built my Jonah Tacoma page up as a personal page. But they restricted the flow of that. So now you got to pay them if you really want to play in their game. And if you're in cannabis, you can't pay them. They won't accept our money, just like the bank.
I I can't even get I can't even get a blue check, like legitimately get a blue check, and I see people get the blue check. I'm like, dang, how I can get my blue check legitimately? You know, people dim me every day, want me to buy it from buy.
I'm
not finna buy that though, because I'm not taking no chance on giving somebody my money. If it was $1, you take that dollar from. I'm gonna have a personal. I'm gonna get personal about that. I'm feeling real messed up, angry. I'm trying to find you for that dollar. I don't pay nobody with no followers.
Would you like to accept? Me and Jessica were freaking out. I hit accept, and 24 hours later, I had a check mark on Facebook.
And you know what's funny about that blue check? I'm trying to hold it back, and I'm looking, man.
You can buy it on Instagram. I know that.
No. Excuse me, sis. I'm sorry. I can't.
She's grown. Yeah.
Hey, you know how much pussy you can get with that blue check when you in the club? Like it's the most retarded fucking shit. Like you can tell a female you can be the most ugliest woman.
Q was just saying he got in the club with this following, right? That shows you how sensitive this generation is to social media, because that's what they equate to values. They're getting all their neuropeptides from the little ding on their phone, and they're totally out of touch with what is reality.
Yeah, that's for real.
Man. Who cares what the food tastes look like or what it tastes like if it's good for the picture?
What the cold part is that blue checks. It tells people in they mind you're famous.
It does feel official.
I swear to God.
I do feel good when I say it. But for me, it was something dumb that got me that check, probably, in my mind. Years ago, we were at Frugal's drive-thru in Tacoma.
Okay.
I asked the guy on the drive-thru line if he would accept payment in dabs. But he's filming from the other side. I'm driving, right? And they say yes. So I'm like, oh, game on. This is hilarious. Yeah. We pull up. And there's my buddy Keelan, who I used to work a phone room with. If you ever worked a phone room, that's low living. You got to be really desperate to get one of those jobs.
Real talk. Oh, yeah. I
see him pop out of there. This is the burger spot. And I give this big old slab 1 gram dab to his buddy and him. And they look around all crazy, blow a dab out. And only in Tacoma, kids. And I freaking take a dab and pull away. And I'm in Portland working on a Dabstar pot shop, first ever Dabstar weed shop we were going to launch in Portland. Yeah. And Matt Markovich from Como 4 News calls me and is like, hey, we want to do a story on this drive-through dabbing thing. It's getting kind of big. And I'm like, what do you mean, Matt? Because we've done like some little pieces on weed with him and stuff. And I said, I would love to do it, but I'm in Oregon. He said, we're just going to send someone over there. And I'm like, they're going to send someone to Portland for a story that's happening in Tacoma. And he sends this lady over, and I'm thinking, me and Matt get along. Like, he keeps weed in his desk. He's like a chill dude. He's not one of those. They sent like a pit bull they brought over from Fox News or some shit. And this lady proceeded to like make me look really bad. Apparently, those kids got fired. The manager of Frugal saw the little video or whatever, and the story became that. And they played that all the way to Hong Kong. That made the national news line. And that story got picked up fucking everywhere. Dumbest thing that I've ever done in my life. But so people said it was... I got them fired, that I was drunk driving. It was... but hey, got me my blue check, man.
Hey, man, for real, hell of it, man. Because I'm sitting there thinking, I remember that fucking video, man. But the cold part to it is, if that's how it was supposed to work for you, that's how it was supposed to work for you.
I asked for permission to post it. I don't think they cared about their burger jobs that bad, but I do feel bad. Keelan, I love you, brother. I appreciate you.
You still, when you talk to him?
No, but I would. You know how you grow up, all your friends end up all over the place. Man.
Oh, okay, I got you. I was gonna say, man, oh yeah, shit, man, get that motherfucker, make him roll up plastic or something like that.
Yeah, I'll put him on the squad. Keelan, if you're out there and you're watching the spot, baby, hit me up.
You ain't gotta put him on the spot. It wasn't like that motherfucker was working at Wall Street or nothing like that.
Cancel that. You're probably doing fine.
We know hey, I can tell. We all got some friends, but we don't know how we know how they might move. We never know. Yeah, and he wasn't at that burger spot for no reason.
Right. Amen. Things happen for a reason. That's why I'm sitting here with Q right now, right?
That's right. Everything happens for a reason, man.
What's next for you, Q?
Huh?
What's next for you?
Man, growth.
You're out to Vegas with me, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're going to Vegas, man, to do the Mary J. You know, I got to go there and support y'all, man. You know, it took me to my first cannabis convention, Champs Trade Show. I went with them, man. It was big, man.
I didn't know it was your first
I didn't know it's like, to go with them, it was a whole different ballgame than I'm going with a rap artist. going just to be a
Nah, they the kings
consumer
of
in
their
there.
game. Yeah, they the
You know,
kings of their game.
I'm not working that world. I'm with a world that I don't even have no experience on. I'm just following their lead. Now, the dabs, I know about them, but I don't know about it. I'm barely even hit it. I don't even know how to like the damn thing and doing this here. So when I went with them, the big part about him and her was when they walked through there, it was like Mike Tyson was that day. You know, when Mike Tyson walked through there, everybody in the convention went to that one corner where Mike Tyson was at in that booth. When they walk into a booth, everybody comes
Collapse.
to the Dabstar booth, and I'm like, why is it coming over here? That's not their booth. They in somebody else's booth. But what they do is they giving away the giveaways. They getting the giveaways, and they got the tallest guy, Ron Bass, who owns MTF
Shout out Ron
in the
Bass.
bunch. Shout out Ron Bass. Don't ask. Ron's going to take it to the next level. He's the tallest guy in there.
Yeah.
And he's
The
going
only
to
white guy at
talk
Snoop's
it
birthday
and walk
party,
it.
I might add.
Yeah, and they give out the biggest gifts. And I'm like, man, this is something. I'm right there with them. And I'm like, hey, and my friends on Instagram seeing me with them, and they like, man, you got the cannabis company going? Where you at? What you got going?
Zero to do with us and 100% to do with how energized the community is. Because what we do is we go talk about what we started with, economic mobility, and how, hey, you guys took something back. No one gave them cannabis. We literally took that fucker back. So what else can we take? We're no longer the minority. We're a vocal majority.
Yeah.
And so when we agree on that and we get together, we can do things like wreck the stock market, fucking pump up GameStop, and all get rich together. And they're fighting hard to stop that kind of stuff. And that's why they push this narrative of disparity. Like, I literally have people that think Portland is on fire right now and blacks and whites are fighting in the streets because that's the narrative that they want to push on them. And
That's
I don't
the
know
projection.
who's pushing it, but it's not accurate. I could go to Portland right now. It's beautiful.
That's that propaganda. That's these communist groups, these different little group, left wing groups that's come in.
You don't wanna call them by their
just
name?
like what Black Lives Matter
Well, you can trace a lot of
organizations.
shit back to Russia today. You'd be crazy how many of these stories come back to Russia today. You're like, what?
All them organizations that want to defund the government, defund the police department, and all that. That's them the groups you're talking about. It's like when we did the peace treaty in South Park. You know, we all kicking it and stuff, and we tell everybody. You know, we see all the people come with the newspapers.
All you gotta ask is,
and these are Asian people.
And the
coming,
people
you
that are
know.
benefiting are the rich
And talking about, you want to buy these newspapers here and this and
want
that.
us squabbling
No.
amongst each other so we can't do things.
I don't want them papers because we know. I know what it is. I'm not with that.
Fucking financial
You know,
system.
we had peace right here.
Well, you know, the thing about it is and shit, we're in a economic decline, right? So when they're
Yeah,
running
we
in there and they're selling those Louis Vuitton purses and shit like that, they're insured. So no matter what, they got sold. These clothes so it's funny to me how they just because again, if I used to try to take a piece of gum, motherfucker down there get his ass whooped trying to steal that motherfucker up out of the store.
Exactly.
But they just motherfuckers is going.
I walked into a Blockbuster before they closed down in Tacoma, and there was an employee taking brand new DVDs that were for sale, like the newest movies out, and hitting them with a rubber hammer and throwing them in the thing. I said, "What are you doing?" And she said, "It's called Tax Destroy." I said, "What the fuck is a Tax Destroy?" And she says, "Well, this cost us about $1.25 to package and make it and print because they did it on such bulk. But the retail value of that motherfucker was like $19.99. So when they hit it with a hammer, they now had a tax loss of $19.99. I said, "Sweetie, you're going to hit the same one with a hammer every time, and I'm going to come get a bag out of the dumpster." You should see how many movies I got at home.
Man, it's how you gotta make it, man. Well, shit. What we gonna do is, man, you know, we gonna end the interview part, man. You know, we gonna go ahead and take them off to really get them real stories and shit like that, man. You feel? I know you got some stories.
Oh, man, we all got too many at this age, right?
So, you know, man, again, man, let them know where they can find you.
What's up, guys? I'm Jonathan Tacoma from Dabstars. You can check us out on Facebook at Dabstars or on Instagram, Dabstars 2.0. I appreciate you guys.
Off top, man. When we at the spot, SoDo.